Goldfinger is property of Metro-Goldwyn Mayor. This is a fan-made movie review. Please support the official release. Alright, Goldfinger starts us off with James Bond infiltrating this place where they have all the cocaine and crack and all that stuff. Then after he infiltrates the building where all the drugs are kept, he basically wires plastique to these conveniently placed barrels of gasoline. Then after that, he enters this bar right across the road from it, I guess. How convenient. Then he just waits 30 seconds, the place blows up, and, then he goes over to this other place and socializes with this chick, and then some guy comes in and tries to kill him, and he electrocutes the guy.
Goldfinger!
Then, after the opening credits, it's sometime later, obviously, James Bond is either vacationing or is on a mission in Miami, but whatever the reason, Bond is then asked by his friend Felix Leiter to, spy on this guy called Goldfinger. Then Bond sneaks into Goldfinger's apartment while Goldfinger's playing a friendly game of poker outside. And, he does that. He finds this girl. Obviously, you know what's going to happen next with him and her, but anyway, she is helping Goldfinger cheat at poker through a telescope that Bond is looking into in the picture. And then, because the girl is talking into a microphone to Goldfinger to help him cheat, Bond then takes the microphone and basically taunts Goldfinger and makes him lose. And Goldfinger gets kind of pissed off at that. Then, later that night, Bond and the girl start making out, of course. And then Bond goes to get another bottle of champagne and basically gets slapped in the back of the neck and goes out unconscious. And then when he wakes up, he finds the girl painted in gold paint. Now, where does that sound familiar? Then Bond goes back to England and reports to MI6. And then pretty much he's sent on the same mission by different people to go spy on Goldfinger. Then, while Bond is spying on Goldfinger, he basically joins him in a friendly game of golf, even though Goldfinger doesn't know he's spying on him. And pretty much he bribes him with the only thing that makes him go crazy, a big bar of gold. Then, while they're playing, Bond switches Goldfinger's ball so that way he won't win, and then at the end of the game, Bond points out that he has the wrong ball, and Goldfinger loses, and he gets even more pissed off. Then after the game of golf, Bond plays a little trick on Goldfinger's stupid but very strong handyman, Oddjob. Just watch. Then Bond kind of tags along with this girl while he's spying on Goldfinger. And this girl wants to kill Goldfinger because she's the sister of the girl that Goldfinger killed earlier by putting paint on her. But anyway. Then later that night, Bond tracks Goldfinger down to his base of operations, and that girl that he was with a little while ago basically is there too, and she still wants to kill Goldfinger, and while she tries to do that, Bond stops her, but they both end up setting off the alarm. Then they try to get away, but they're stopped by Oddjob, and then while the girl tries to get away, Oddjob throws his hat at her, and it breaks her neck, and she dies. Then James Bond gets captured by Goldfinger, and comes the famous laser sequence, where Goldfinger's gonna cut him in half with the laser, and that's actually where this movie came from. And he's almost about to cut him in half, but Bond says that he's worth more to Goldfinger than he is dead, and Goldfinger kind of figures that out too, and doesn't cut him in half. Then James Bond wakes up on a plane heading for Texas, a ranch there. owned by Goldfinger. And when he wakes up, we are introduced to our next female character. You're probably going to laugh at her name, but it is Pussy Galore. Then after the plane lands, James Bond is locked up in a prison cell in Goldfinger's ranch, but then after that, Goldfinger basically unleashes his business plan to his partners about... Here's what his plan is. Basically, they're going to use knockout gas in the entire area surrounding Fort Knox, which will be released from planes that fly above it, and then him and his people break into Fort Knox and steal the gold, pretty much. Then a short while later, at this point, Goldfinger actually killed all of his business partners so he can keep the gold for himself. Bond does some calculations and figures out that the amount of time the knockout gas would work, or last or whatever, Goldfinger would not be able to get all the gold out of Fort Knox, obviously. So Goldfinger then tells his true intentions, which are to set off a nuclear device that doesn't actually blow up, it just contaminates the gold, and therefore would make all the gold in Fort Knox worthless and make his gold supply increase in maximum value, pretty much. Then after the knockout gas proves successful, Goldfinger has the bomb put in the vault of Fort Knox, and then he basically becomes an asshole and handcuffs James Bond to the bomb. Yeah, because that's going to kill James Bond. And then it turns out that Felix was there near Fort Knox, and actually they weren't, and them and a lot of army guys weren't affected by the gas because they were in mass or whatever. But then they basically start fighting Goldfinger's little own platoon or whatever. And then Goldfinger switches his clothes with the outfit of a military official and starts shooting at his own guys, and the military thinks that he's a good guy. And then after that, inside the vault, Bond manages to break the handcuffs and starts fighting Oddjob, who was locked in the vault by accident. And while they're fighting, Oddjob throws his hat at Bond, misses. Bond throws his hat at the metal bars that surround the gold so no one can touch it or whatever. And then Bond, being smart, Oddjob grabs the hat. He quickly takes an electric cable and shoves it to the metal bars, and Oddjob gets electrocuted and dies. Then Bond tries to turn the bomb off. He can't, and Felix and his friend come in and they just flip the bomb off with the flick of a switch. And conveniently, the bomb stops on the digit 007. And then Bond is congratulated for his heroic work, blah, blah, blah. And the president sends his plane. Bond's going to have dinner on the president's plane, but then once he gets on the plane, it turns out Goldfinger tied up the president and left him at the airport and is about to shoot Bond. And then he's going to fly the plane to Cuba and he'll be out of the U.S. jurisdiction, but Goldfinger misses when he shoots at Bond. The plane depressurizes. Goldfinger gets sucked out the window and presumably dies. And then Bond and Pussy Galore jump out of the plane in a parachute. They land. CIA is looking for them, and they start making out in the parachute on some island, and the movie ends. Okay, so now time for my personal opinion of the movie. And I have to admit, this is definitely one of the better James Bond movies, because there's some of them out there, and they're really bad, but, all of them are pretty good, but this is definitely one of the better ones, and it's definitely the best one with Sean Connery, no doubt, but I have to give it an 8.5 out of 10 stars for Definitely being one of the better James Bond movies. Best one with Sean Connery. Definitely kicks the butt out of Dr. Nolan from Russia with Love. But I definitely recommend this to anybody who likes action or spy movies or is just a good old James Bond fan like me. So get this edition. It's probably the best one out there. But okay, so rate, comment, subscribe, thumbs down, thumbs up. And have a wonderful day, everybody. See ya.